Thank you for joining the Florida Center for Students with Unique Abilities monthly informational webinar, FPCTP Scholarship Request and Disbursement Reports using FCSUA Salesforce Portal. My name is Drew Andrews, and I am the Assistant Director and Technical Assistance Coordinator at the Florida Center for Students with Unique Abilities. Our presenters today are Claudia Bellopunto, Web Applications Developer, and Janice Seabrooks Blackmore, our Executive Director at FCSUA. This webinar is being recorded. The PowerPoint and other handouts can be downloaded from the chat section, which can be accessed by clicking the chat icon, which looks like a speech bubble at the bottom of your browser window in Zoom. If you are having difficulty hearing the presentation, phone numbers that can be used to call and join the audio via phone while following the slides online will also be posted in the chat window. At the end of the webinar, a link to our evaluation will be posted, and we ask that you please complete the evaluation link. So at this time, I'll turn it over to Claudia and Janice.
Again, welcome everyone. Good to see you. And we are excited to be at this place with our technology. And we've had an opportunity to work with a few of our programs. And so as we mentioned in the announcement, it's a workshop format. And so Claudia will be sharing a few slides, but we have placed the slides in the chat box as sort of a handout and guide. We won't be going slide by slide. Well, up to a certain point we will, but they're there for you for notes and for those who are not able to join us as we talk about the process. But
Drew, could you allow me to share?
Yeah, okay. If you are able to log in, that's what we would like for you to do. So let's see. Because we will be working through Salesforce as we move through. Let's see.
Okay.
Yes, Claudia, feel free.
Okay, thank you. There it is.
Okay, we realized when we initially sent out the announcement in the webinar, we were thinking about just scholarship requests. And so as we got closer with our consulting team, they worked at lightning speed and got a lot of components ready. And so for all of you who submitted scholarship requests this semester, we've already entered that information. And so we advanced a little bit and had to make sure we will emphasize the disbursement reports. And later in the year, next year, we will do again scholarship requests, because it may be 6 months away for some of you or more before entering new students. And so we want to make sure that information is fresh on your mind. And so while we will talk about scholarship requests, we'll talk about disbursements reports, because we've really done the requests already, but it'll be a good review. And about half of you have, again, completed the disbursement reports with us one-on-one, and we will offer that again as often as we need to with the rest of you. But we wanted to get you all in and make sure that you know the platform and know where to go. And if we run into any problems with that, we want you to know. So if you could try to log into Salesforce and be able to walk along with us. Go ahead to the next slide. So today we're going to cover the scholarship requests by looking at the overview of the Salesforce platform. We know when we worked with a few of you that you had never logged in, although you had been submitting the scholarship requests. So this may be a review for some of you, and then for others, it may be spanking brand new. But you'll get an overview of the Salesforce platform in general. We'll show you the scholarship estimator and the scholarship request forms, but we won't go into detail again because we've done those for you, but we do want you to know where you can locate them. But we'll spend most of our time going through the scholarship disbursement reports and explaining components within that. and then later talk about the connection of all of this to the annual reports. Claudia will be, as you all know, she is our guru for technology and particularly web-based work. And so she'll be leading the presentation, and I'm just tagging along to answer any questions that you might have, but she's the one in charge right now. Go ahead, Claudia.
Okay. So first, let's make sure that everyone in here, as we mentioned during the invitation, we wanted to have a hands-on webinar, some sort of workshop where everyone can go in, or the person that have the access to Salesforce can go in and follow up the steps as I am explaining how to do the disbursement reports and as I am walking you through how the cost estimator looks, how the request forms look. So first, it's important to know that each approved program has access to 2 licenses to log in. So if most of the time the person that already has a license is the program coordinator, is the primary program contact. If it's another person that the one responsible for membership process and you want to assign that second license to that person, just let me know. I can assign that license, so that person that takes care of the scholarship process can also log in into Salesforce. Sometimes if you already have the 2 licenses used, for now, we ask you to share one of the licenses that you already have assigned. But that's something important because some of the institutions, they're still using 1 license and they have 1 license free, so they can just reach out to us and let us know if they want to use that second license for someone else, in this case for the scholarships. So after this is clear, yes.
If Linda, are you able to get in? We have one question about how do you log into Salesforce, and thank you, Vivian, for sharing the link. Linda, are you still having trouble getting into Salesforce?
Well, honestly, it's my first attempt at doing this at all. So I don't know what to do when I get to this page here, the login page.
Okay. So Linda, does that mean that you have never been in Salesforce?
Never been.
Okay, perfect. So my suggestion, and for everyone, because I definitely want everyone, if they want just to follow up steps that I'm going to show you for the disbursement, is please go to this link. It's fcsua.force.com. Some of you already have been in Salesforce. When we first set up the platform, we send welcome emails to all the program coordinators or primary program contacts. If you do not remember your password, please use the forgot your password link that is at the bottom and enter your email addresses. Your usernames all were set up as your email addresses. So please enter that email address. If you don't remember your password, you will receive an email with the steps and how it will notify you how to reset your password for your account.
Okay. But I should attempt to do this now, or
if you want, you can do it. Yeah, I definitely want to wait a couple of minutes to make sure that everyone that want to follow up, as we were saying, this is a demo, it's a training, so okay. We can definitely wait a couple of minutes until everyone that want to attend it's in Salesforce.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And what I'm gonna do from now on is actually I'm gonna move to the Salesforce platform. I'm gonna go to the community while Linda and the others are trying to log in. Janice, can you see Salesforce now?
Yes, I can.
Perfect.
And like we say, and we'll continue to emphasize it, is it being a workshop? So ask questions as you go. We are not waiting until the end. We want to problem solve if that's the case. We're not solving each issue, but we want to make sure access is available to all of you.
Right. If anyone else is having like login issues, let us know. And if you don't have access for some reason, please put it on the chat and we will follow up and we will give you access.
Claudia?
Yes.
This is Maria from the Orange Technical College Westside Campus. I don't have access. I'm just covering for somebody. So I just want to I'm just gonna sit here and just follow you through I won't be able to log in.
Okay, that's okay. And we were actually checking on Orange Tech, and you still have a license available. So if that person that you're covering from needs to access Salesforce, just contact us, because I can assign a license to the person that does the scholarship part. So just let them know that they still have one license free, so they can use it.
And Maria, they'll have access to the recording afterwards too, to kind of refer to. So that'll be important. How you doing, Linda? Okay. Well, don't panic. If you are able to get in, that's fine. Great.
Yeah, I attempted to reset the password, but now I'm not getting a message. So
try checking in your spam folder.
Okay.
Because I've never been in Salesforce, and this is something that goes to everyone. Sometimes when you are in the system, your Outlook does not recognize the notifications that you're going to receive. So it might recognize the emails as spam. So it might direct the emails from Salesforce to the spam folder, to the junk emails folder. So please check in there when you are first attempting to log in. Good that you are actually bringing that up, Linda.
At the moment, I'm being attacked by my cat, so I've got to take care of that first. That's good.
Okay, well, she could problem solve that. If not able to, then let's go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so after you all logged in using the FCSUA.force.com link, this is where you will see. You will land in the home tab of Salesforce, FCSUA Salesforce community. The home tab is basically a summary of everything that is in the community for your program. This is a demo account. This is a test site that we have set up for this kind of activities and for testing. So that's why you're seeing all this information in here that we already have set up. So for example, you will see on their home tab, your institutional information. If you have an FPCTP application approved or in process to be approved, it will be here. Your contacts, your grant proposal, if you have one in process or if you have more than one already, and the scholarship cost estimators as well. So up here is the navigation menu. So right now, these are the key features that we have in the community. So far, we already moved the FPCTP applications online, the FPCTP grants, and the most recent ones is the scholarships. But first, we always ask to all our programs to, when they first logged in, to take a look at the institutional profile, which is the first option. Up here is all the information related to the institution, is what we will use to contact you or to send any kind of communication, general communication. So it is good that this is accurate. So if you want to edit that, and you will be seeing this icon across the entire platform, just click on the pencil and go ahead and edit the information. In the institutional profile as well, you will see all the contacts. So in this case, we have plenty here. As I mentioned, this is a demo account, but you will get to see your assigned to your institution president, your financial aid director, every person that is related to the grant work, it will be there. The primary program contact or the program coordinator or any other person that you want to be listed on the account or under the your institution, your program account can be entered here. And if you need to edit, same thing. So you will see always a column similar to this on this list. One will be that is called actions, and one option will be to edit using the pencil. But if you want just take a look at the information without edit, you can just go ahead and click on the eye, and you will only see the information. As you see here, I'm not able to edit anything in this case. After that, we have the FPCTP applications. When you click here on this tab, you will see your FPCTP application. Maybe you have a new and a renewal because you are in the process of renew, or because you already got your renewal application approved. It will be listed here. Similar with the FPCTP grants. It will be in here, and as you can see, the actions are similar, so they're consistent across the platform. Then you will find the scholarships, and we will go there in a minute, and just really quickly communicate to us. We will receive an email if you're having some kind of issues with the platform, with the community. You can let us know, and we will assist you. Let's go now over the scholarships. Okay, so this list is actually the cost estimators, the FPCTP scholarship cost estimators. These cost estimators, as you can see, we have two in this demo account. This actually means that there are not restrictions on the number of cost estimators that you can create in here. In this case, for example, for this institution, we have created two cost estimators, one for on-campus resident students and one for off-campus resident students, because in this case, this institution have different costs depending on this condition. Let's go and take a look at the on-campus residents. As I did, as you can see, I click on the pencil to make sure to edit. So one thing that I do like to say about this, and this form is a mirror of the spreadsheet that you all have been using so far. So it's pretty much the same information that you had on that spreadsheet and that template that we used to provide for you to create the cost estimator. The third part, and I think is important here, will be the name of the cost estimator. Is if you are, in this case, they have on-campus residents and off-campus residents. So having a name for your cost estimator, it will allow you to differentiate between them. We have some cases, some like technical college, that they have multiple cost estimator based on the different programs that they have. So maybe they have one cost estimator that is for culinary, another one that is for 3D animation. So that naming appropriately the cost estimator will help you to identify and to know where to go and how to navigate the platform easier. After that, this view, as you can see here, is special attention. In some cases, we have seen that some institutions, some programs, they request us to send the checks to a specific place, to a specific person. And that's why we are having this feeling here. If you're not in that situation, we just send it to regular information that we have for your institution. You just leave it empty. I have a question in the chat.
No.
And can you possibly make that a little bigger?
Sure. Is it
Great.
better?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so another thing that we actually realized that was important to include in this online form was the address where the scholarship checks are going to go, because we do have some institutions that have different addresses, or the check needs to go to a specific office, to a specific place. So please indicate this information in here. It is required. This is the information of the person preparing and submitting the cost estimator. And this I do consider is a really important field. So anything that you want to let us know about this cost estimator, about this program, in case that you are creating the cost estimator for a specific program on your FPCTP, any notes that you want us to have, this is the place to have it. And also for you to keep track of information and keep notes about this specific cost estimator. Any questions so far? Are we good?
Yeah, Jen is just thanking you for those.
I'm not seeing the chat.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's thanking you for the multiple cost estimators.
Okay. So as I said, this is basically a mirror of of the spreadsheet that we have been using before. So we will have 3 sections in here, one for each term or semester. one for fall, as you can see, one for spring, and one for summer. And I will go up all the way up. Let's take a look at fall. So similar to the spreadsheet, you will have a field for each one of those fees that we asked about: tuition, tech fee, meal plan, housing, books, mentors, field trips, and special technology. All of these fields, as you can see, they have a red asterisk. Those fields are required. If you are not, so if your students do not get charged with any tech fees, you have to enter 0 in those fields because those are required, as is indicated up here on the note. Something that I do like and is really cool about this is because are these older fees. We have that when you turn the cost estimators to us, the institution have different specific fees. So we included these 6 fields down here when you can enter those older fees. So you can have, special materials or registration. You get to name that older fee, and you get to enter the amount. And these are not required. So if you don't have those extra fees or older fees, you can leave it empty. And the good thing also about this cost estimator is that it actually does the math for you. So once you get done entering all your information for fall, it actually adds up all the amounts for you. So it keeps track of the amounts, and it does the same for each term. So it goes all the way to spring with the same fields, adds up for spring if you have cost for spring, and the same for summer if you have cost for summer.
Claudia, a question. This is Maria.
Yeah.
If there's any money left for those for any of those terms, what happened to that money? I mean, let's say, for example, I request a $2,000 check for the fall term, and the student have like $200 left. What happens to that?
We will get there. We will get there. And I think that what I'm going to show you, everyone's going to be really happy about it.
Okay, good.
We will get there. So as you can see, the cost estimator is pretty much the spreadsheet in an online form. So that's what it is. You have the option to save it, and it will just, if you're just working on it, you're not ready to submit it, or you submit it to FCSUA for approval, if all the numbers are correct and you're sure that that is ready. We are not going to go in details into the cost estimator and the request forms process, because as Janice mentioned, these are already done for you. So once you logged in to do your disbursement report, which is our focus here today, you will find all this data in Salesforce already. So once you submitted your cost estimator and request forms, we took care of entering all that information. So it is available for you, the disbursement report. We will revisit this process next year before the cost estimator and request are due for the following academic year. So
one thing to keep in mind is we have a couple of programs who that have not had students enrolled yet, and you'll begin this, like Claudia said, we'll repeat and focus on the cost estimator and the scholarship request forms. We'll have a webinar for that. So some of you will not have the information already entered. We entered it for those of you who have scholarship requests this year. And so that's why we want to make sure that everyone is aware of when you do it. And when we sent you your program approval, we included the cost estimator as a spreadsheet. Now all of that will be done in Salesforce. So we'll do a review again. So like Doug, you won't have any information in here. And so you'll be beginning the process. And FIU, several of our programs will be brand new doing this, but we'll have another webinar to go over this in a little more detail.
Okay, so once we look at this cost estimator, we will look at the request forms. So in this case, we are having on-campus resident, that's the name of our cost estimator. So what's gonna happen now is that when we move to the scholarship request form and you open your list, in the case of the institution that do have data in here, you will find the list of all your students already in there as we enter all the information. You will see that the status for all of them will be approved. I have one that is not, because I'm going to show you how to do the disbursement report. But this is what you will find. So all your students will be listed in here, and all their information will be already in the system once you logged in. So let's take a look at webinar test student, so you can see how the request form looks on here. So as we said, this is really similar as well to the spreadsheet. So the student information will actually pull from the record that we are creating from the students. So let's say that you have a student that is a continuing student, so it has a scholarship request in a previous year. So the only thing we'll have to do is just search on here, and the name will come up. So that actually means that you don't have to go over your list, because your list will be in here for those students that are continuing your program. If you have a new student to enter, then you will use this action here. It's grayed out because we already have a student. But once you click in here, you will get to enter a new record, student name and a student ID. You will select the residency status. For the residency status, resident or non-resident. The rest of the information, as you're seeing, it comes from the cost estimator. It actually pulls from the cost estimator where this request form is attached to. So the program name, the person preparing the information. And you will see the enrollment projection. So here's where you indicate if the student is attending fall, spring, and summer, or spring and summer. It depends. It can accept as many combinations as you want. Because we're focusing on the disbursement report, when you open up your student record in Salesforce, you will see all these columns in here. What does this mean? So this tree here, estimated cost for spring, estimated for fall, for spring and summer, is same. It's similar to this information. It's pulling from the cost estimator. It's only bringing that estimated cost that you created on the cost estimator. After that, you will get the fields for the awarded amount. So if you indicated that the student is attending the program in fall and spring, we will award money for fall and for spring, and it will actually calculate the total for us. So it keeps track of all that information. And because you indicated on your enrollment projection that the student will be attending fall and spring, then you have 2 available fields to do the disbursement report. So here is where you, once you receive those notifications that we will talk about in a second, you will come into, you will log in into the community, and you will open up all the students that you have listed, and you will enter the amount that you actually disperse for the student. So let's say that for this test student, we are going to do the disbursement for fall, and this student attended the program and we will receive the entire amount. So we will just enter 344 here. And after that, the only thing you have to do is make sure to save it. Because if you don't save it, of course, the system won't keep track of the information that has been updated. So we just go ahead and save it, and it takes you back to the list. So what you have to do is just go along with all the students that you have to do the disbursement report.
Okay, we got a couple of questions.
Okay.
One, Adam suggested a guide, step-by-step guide, and I mentioned we'll have a in addition to other webinars, we'll look at creating step-by-step guides to walk you through. He suggested with the screenshots how helpful that would be. So we could work on that. And Jen would like to clarify, let's see, do the scholarship request, you'd first do the cost estimator. I may be confused on the additional student, add student, as the estimator needs to come first before the request. So we just find our student in the drop down, right? Not needing to add student, just trying to clarify. So if I'm understanding you right, and Claudia certainly clarify with me, if you have a student already, Jen, if that's the question you're asking, if you have a student already that you've already done a request on, when you're doing it next year, they'll be in the drop-down menu. If not, then you will have may need to add a new student. If that student is not already in the list,
Right.
then the student's name will not come up and you'll need to add that student, yes, the cost estimator to whichever cost estimator you are making the request.
Yeah. And I was gonna go there next. I was gonna show I talked about this action up here a little bit. And I know that we have mentioned that in some cases, some institutions, they have students that join to the program later in the year. So you have to do an additional request for the student. And say, Jen, that is a new student and it's an on-campus resident. So what you have to do is you have to go to your scholarships tab. You need to find the cost estimator with that request form will be related. So if it's an on-campus student, in the case of this demo, you will come up here, you will edit, you will go to scholarship request forms, and you will click on new scholarship request forms. As Janice was saying, is the student, if the student is a returning student, the name of the student will come up in here because you already have the student information in the system. If it's a brand new student, what you have to do is click on new student, enter a student name and a student ID. Once you save this in here, all that information, all this information, it will actually move to here and it will complete the student name and the student ID up here. Is that what you were referring to?
And she says she thinks she figured it out, but Jen,
oh,
you can
perfect.
speak for yourself if you would like. You can speak for yourself.
Okay.
Okay. I do want to emphasize with that, most of you will be doing scholarship requests next year. So that's when you will be adding new students if they're not already on there, because you've done them this year. But like Claudia mentioned, a few of you have students who are coming in the spring, and even some of you know that you may have a student or two coming in the summer. And so you'll do new requests at that time based on the scholarship estimate you already have in there and add new student. Yes.
And if you are, and I think if any of you is in that situation and you need our help before we have the next webinar about cost estimator and request form, just let us know and we will definitely assist you.
Okay.
Okay. So let's go back to our test student, because after that, I wanted to go down here before we go to the summary. So something else that is important in here, once you do the disbursement report, this actually does the total for us as well. So it keeps track of how much money you are dispersing to the student and updates that number up here. Let's say that you come in spring and you enter another number in here based on what the student received, and this number will update as well. After you do that, again, make sure to save so this so the system can update the information and can update the numbers for you.
Linda, does that address your comment? Where you have, and the fall and spring money comes together at one time?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go back up here. So something that I do like about this a lot is once you're done you have finished all your disbursement report. You went through the list, you entered the amount disbursement for the fall term. In this case, these are the ones that we're doing. We have something that is called the scholarship summary. And when we go up here, this actually have 4 sections. So it's summarized for you and also for us how much money we awarded to the institution by term. Have to go back to your spreadsheet and do the math because the system actually does this for you right now. So it tells you how much you receive for fall, how much you receive for spring, for summer, and the total. The good thing is that once you start doing the disbursement reports, it will also add up this amount up here. Once you do the disbursement for fall, this number up here will update. Same with the spring, same with summer, and with the total. The other part is that it keeps track of how many students you have enrolled per term. So this institution, in this example, they have 7 students for fall, 8 for spring, and 4 for summer, and a total of the number of requests submitted, which are the total number of students that they have. My favorite part personally is this part down here. And I think this will address Maria's question. Maria, let's say that you have a student that we awarded the money, but the student did not attend the entire term, or ended up not going at all, not attending at all to the program. So what happened is that you won't disperse the money to the student. So that money will be reflected down here, I'm sorry, because what the system actually does is does the math for you. It actually subtracts, as soon as you start doing the disbursement, it subtracts from the total amount awarded. So what it's doing is just comparing these two numbers in here. And right now it's telling me that you have this amount left because you did not disperse that amount to that specific student. The good thing about this is that along with the system, as I know you all have been receiving the reminders, you also will receive reminders for this. So a month in advance to you first, you'll receive an email. If you have some funds due back to the center, you will receive an email that will tell you, hey, Maria, you have this total amount due to FCSUA by June 1st. So there is no need to go back and keep track of that on a spreadsheet of just keep it in mind. Oh, I have to remember that by June 1st, I have to return the money. The system will send the reminders and it will tell you if you own something, how much do you own to the center back?
I do want to clarify, because I think I was thinking your question was a little different too, Maria. If you have gotten a scholarship award and all of the fees and everything are taken care of, just like with scholarships with typical students, when all of that has been taken care of, the remaining money goes to the student. So that's not money that is considered non-dispersed, because we will award the amount to the student, and that student will use that amount to pay whatever the costs are for attending that semester, that year. And then whatever is left over, that goes to the student. So those are not considered non-dispersed. The award goes to the student, and then what's left goes to the student. Does that clarify? But yes, as Claudia was saying, if a student doesn't make SAP or cannot continue or never showed up, then the award was never issued. And that's why your financial aid people are so important to be part of this process, to know, because they are issuing the financial aid award. So the award was never issued. That money you return to us. Okay. Cool.
And so we have any other questions on the chat?
No, not at this time.
Okay. Something that we used to do once we awarded the funds to you, we used to send you on a spreadsheet with the amount of money awarded to each student. Right now, that numbers will be found in here. So if you go to each of your student, let's say that we go back to our test student, you will see that the student received this amount for fall and this amount for spring. Even when we're not sending those spreadsheets anymore, it's important for you to know that because we move everything to Salesforce, and Salesforce is one of the best features of Salesforce is the way they create reports. So if it's at some point you need a summary, a report, a list of all your students with all these numbers in one place, just reach out to us. It's something that is done in a few minutes. It's really amazing how this pulls together all this information. So this is something important. We want you to know that is available. Let us know if you need that information. We can quickly pull that information from the system and send it back to you.
One comment, excuse me. On the description, could you show them where description is on here? A lot of you have been, you'll make notes on your Excel file. You might explain something about a particular student or a situation. So the description here is where, you know, if you're explaining something in particular that you want us to be aware of, that's another place. So we have it here. We're describing a situation that may be unique for a particular term or year with students. And then Claudia, if you would go back to the, is it the scholarship request form where they include comments?
The cost estimator.
Yeah, cost estimator.
Yeah, okay. That. Yes, let's go back here.
Yeah, like Claudia mentioned that, where we've seen where there are, although you may have an estimate for students in the program, but there may be something unique for one student where that number is different. Here is where programs have given explanations where the cost estimator number may be a little unique for a particular student. And so that's another place where you include comments. Just that's for our communication. The comments also with the cost estimator could be that if we have questions or comments about your cost estimator, we will post that there to just clarify what it is that we are not sure about. So shortcut for an email, but we will put updates needed, send a message where there would be updates needed or something on the cost estimator. But we really like the layout of the platform, and so far the institutions with whom we've worked really like it too, and the efficiency of counting the money, counting the students, keeping that record, not having to duplicate, it's already there, and having a more transparent connection between which program, in this case, for those of you who have multiple programs, which program cost links to each student. We guess we could figure it out, but this allows you to line it up. And I know that's something that Jen Robinson introduced to us right away when she started working on that and trying to figure out the best way. And we have the cost estimator, but then we have the awards that we give, and that's just using your cost estimator as a good tracking record for accounting. Should any administrators or anyone in the state ask about what your program costs are and how they're being justified, you have that directly related to each one of the students. So I think this is a great advancement for us.
Something else that I wanted to mention, and it's coming in the near future, and that's we will cover that more in details when we go over this next year, is this the record that we are creating for the students, that you are actually creating for the students. The good news about this, and this is related to the annual reports, our annual reports will be finally here in Salesforce as well. So hopefully, and I can say that we're 100% sure that next year you won't have to create your cost estimators in Word documents anymore. It will be here. The good thing is that if you had done your cost estimators for your program, you will remember that there is a question that asks about the status of the students at the end of the reporting year. You get two options there. It's an exiting a student or it's a continuing student. The good thing is that we will connect those two components. We will connect the scholarship to the annual report. Let's say that this student actually exited the program at the end of the reporting year. What will happen is that when you're going to create your cost estimator and request forms for the academic year after that, that student won't come up in here because you already said that the student is not attending your program anymore because it graduated, because it did not, because it decided not to. So everything will be connected and it will be a better, so it will assure and it will, that we all won't make, we will make less errors. So when we are creating this. because every component will be connected. So it will feed, the scholarship will feed into the student reports, and it will keep track of everything. Okay. Janice, do we have any other questions?
No other questions at this time.
Okay. So
you can go over the reminders.
Yes, I'm going to share.
Linda, were you successful in getting in? If you're still on, were you successful?
I was absolutely not successful,
okay,
but I listened with great attentiveness and took many notes.
We will take care of you. Don't worry.
Thank you. You always do.
Okay. So let's talk for a minute about the, oh, why? Sorry about that. I want to show you, let's talk about a little bit about the reminders. I know that you all have been receiving this reminder that tells you that the full disbursement reports are due. How these reminders work. So these reminders are set to run a month in advance to the due date. So, and it will only be received by the primary program contact and the financial aid contact that you have listed in your under your account. So nobody else will receive it. No, it won't be received by the superintendent or the president, only to the primary program contact and the financial aid person contact. So far, the full reminders are being sent out every Tuesday, and that actually means that in a few minutes, you will be receiving the ones for this week for those that have not completed the disbursement report, and they will keep going until you complete your disbursement report. So it means that if you already completed, you won't receive any more emails until April, when it's time for you to receive the spring reminders, and then in August when it's time to receive your summer disbursement reports. These are the due dates for those disbursement reports, which it actually means that the reminders will start a month in advance. And same with the non-dispersed funds. So that field that I specified in the summary, if you have any money that it's funds that it's due to the center, you will start receiving a reminder with that amount a month in advance to June 1st. It's an email really similar to the ones you have receiving now, or the ones for those who have worked on the applications and the grants. It's a really similar email, and it's coming from Salesforce, but it's actually coming from the FCSUA.ucf.edu. And as we said before, just please reach out to us, contact us if you have any questions and suggestions. We are really excited having these scholarships in here. This Salesforce platform community, it's a work in progress. We will keep improving. We will definitely have the annual report soon. That's what we were working on right now. But as Janice mentioned, we will have another webinar specifically about the cost estimators and the request forms before those are due for the following academic year. Any questions?
You did a great job explaining it, Claudia. I think they have it. And I think they are confident that they can review the recording and see what else is said. So let's see if we have any other comments. Is there a new due date once we process this info? Is there a new due date once we process this? Are you meaning, Amanda, a new due date for the disbursement report?
Yes, that's my question.
So the next time it'll come is you'll have a month before the end of spring semester that we'll begin sending out reports, reminders.
That's correct.
Okay, I thought the disbursement one was due today.
So the fall is due today, but we know that today is the day that we set up the training. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I guess Janice, that is fine if they just worked on the disbursement report right after this.
Yeah. Yeah, we did, and we actually had some of our colleague teams volunteer to kind of help us to make sure we covered everything this time, knowing that the disbursement reports were due today. And so we are certainly open and know that some of those may come after today, but we didn't want to have you do the disbursement report in the Excel files. Because we knew we were moving to this new platform. So they so happen to land on the same day. So we got some thank you from Vivian, great information. And we know you're always available to help, okay? Yeah, and Amanda thanks you too for the clarification.
Yeah, and the reason I think also we decided not to change that is just keep the reminders as they are, so you can take a look and see how it's going to work from now on. Mm-hmm. So the first time we do it is with fall, and then you already know how it will work for a spring and for summer.
Yeah.
And starting with the disbursement report, I think it's the easy part. It's the easiest part. So I think that this is the good place to start. Mm-hmm. Getting used to the components, the scholarship component.
Right. We didn't want to get everybody started off entering because one, we had already done it. And everything got ready maybe right before the Institute. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we had everything already. So that's why we went ahead and entered everything and then just wanted to bring you up to speed now. Right. It says the platform looks like a big improvement. We think so.
Thank you.
We hope so. And we always want your feedback. And we do ask programs to volunteer. So we've had volunteers. Thank you. Some of our volunteers are here to give us feedback to let us know how we should best present the information or what are glitches for each other. So we can't do it without you. Appreciate it. Okay, you want to post the evaluation in the chat box?
Let's do that. Stop sharing.
If there are no other questions, and we have STAR students on the webinar today who have gone through and completed their disbursements. You guys have any comments?
Hey, this is Roger Barnhart at McFadder. How you doing?
Good.
I was one of
Hello.
your guinea pigs. Hi guys. I was one of your guinea pigs, and I found it actually very easy to work through, and it's going to be very helpful to keep track of things. So I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was one that did some work, and I think it's very user friendly. I was just mentioning to Diana, I miss having a big snapshot of the spreadsheet. So it's going to be different just looking at individual, records, but it seemed to me to be very, very easy to work with. I like it.
Thanks. Such different perspective. Yeah.
Yeah. The evaluation link is in the chat. I have posted the evaluation link in the chat. And let me share one more time the slides. The slides actually had the steps in how to complete the disbursement report and the more important features of the scholarship component. So you can look at that. And of course, contact us if you have any other questions.
Well, it might be unusual if we don't talk to any of you before the holiday break. Of course, we wish you a happy holiday season and to you and your family to be safe. And we look forward to seeing you in the next year. We do have a webinar coming up next week for those of you, again, and this is open up to new programs or programs thinking about becoming, institutions thinking about becoming programs who want that assistance with the evaluation component, December 8th. June Gothberg was one of the content resource experts at the Institute. And so she's excited and ecstatic about being available for evaluation, particularly when you're thinking about other components to share and ways in which you can evaluate your program. And for those who may not have written your grants yet, where you can look at the evaluation components for your grants. So this is going to be another powerful webinar for new programs and for continuing programs, so you can think about ways of continuous improvement. So December 8th, next Tuesday, hopefully some of you will have an opportunity to join it. And if not, of course, it'll be posted up on our YouTube. Have a safe break.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone. Bye. Bye. Are you talking to us, Heather?
I was trying.